couple of days ago I decided I'd really like to continue on to Finisterre after finishing the Camino in Santiago, and yeah, with the way my flights worked out and that kind of thing, it didn't make sense to stay an extra day in Santiago, so I've had a little bit of a late start this morning, but it's about 10, yeah, starting the walk. I'm going to try and walk the 90 kilometers in 2 days and see the sunset tomorrow night. I think that's kind of a cool goal. Effectively, you know, 2 marathon days back to back, which is pretty ambitious because I haven't actually walked that far before. The longest day I did was like 38 kilometers, but yeah, and 2 back to back is going to be kind of tough, but see how it goes. You know, if I don't get there in time, it's not the end of the world. I can figure something out. Cool memory. Stopped by one of the little bread delivery vans this morning to grab some breakfast, and the woman didn't want any money, and I really was like, no, I want to pay, like, but she was like, no, buen camino, like, she just didn't want any money. She wanted to offer it to me, and like, you know, I was kind of touched by that, because, you know, as a baker, as a bread delivery, you know, woman, I don't think she's you know, multi-millionaire, and yeah, she had a van full of bread and maybe she would be throwing some out, but all the same, the act of generosity, like, really, yeah, for me was you know, quite a beautiful thing and a nice way to start the day. First time getting lost on the Camino. I followed an arrow off to the right, must have missed one to the left, and then walked down a long, oh wow, little snake. Can you see it? Crikey! Crikey! It's a bloody snake! It's a bloody snake! Seriously, I didn't just like, I'm just not just making this up. This snake, the snake was actually in the middle of the road. Nothing to do, nothing. I didn't make that up, I promise. So yeah, got lost, saw an arrow pointing back the other way, and that was probably a giveaway that I was going the wrong way in retrospect, but at the time I just thought it was for people who were walking back from Finisterre. Possibly not the smartest thing in the world. So yeah, walked down a long downhill all the way up to another main road. Got to like a service station on the main, and I'm like, I'd already knew I was lost, but hadn't seen any signs. And yeah, kind of did some Googling, found a route map, because I don't actually have one for this part of the, like once I past Santiago. Yeah, but there's no GPS dot on that route map that I found, so did some old-fashioned navigation, and walking through the bush back to the main track. And yeah, as you saw, just saw a little snake. First time I've seen a snake in Spain. Pretty sure Spanish snakes aren't venomous, hence my behaviour that you witnessed just before. Yeah, it's but I'm not 100% sure, so I didn't really want to get bitten. It's funny how things work, you know, because I earlier on today I was thinking about snakes. Like when I was a kid, I was sitting down minding my own business in the bush, or the forest for the non-Australians, and I was just sitting there minding my own business, and a red-bellied black snake went past me, like literally 1 foot to my right. It frightened the daylights out of me because they're quite venomous. Then but nothing happened, just kept meandering along its own way. Then like not last year, the year before, I was hiking in a big national park not far from where I come from, and a brown snake did the same thing, came from behind me, went past, this time not a foot to my right, but say a metre to my right. And a brown snake is the second most venomous snake in the world, I believe. And yeah, can be aggressive, normally not, but certainly wouldn't have been very opportune getting bitten by a brown snake where we had no telephone coverage or anything. And it looks like I'm back on the map. Hey-ya! That's cool. So yeah, pretty weird. I'm thinking about that earlier on today, and happened upon my first Spanish snake. I hope you enjoyed my Steve Irwin impersonation. Just to be clear for all the more impressionable viewers, I never ever tried to touch any of the snakes in Australia. They're very poisonous and they'll kill you. To say it politely, I was extremely afraid when those two snakes went by me really close. And the weird thing was they came from behind, so I had no way of knowing they were approaching. I've seen plenty of other snakes in the wild, like while hiking or whatever, or even riding motorbikes. But yeah, for some reason those two snakes that came from behind, you know, that memory stuck with me because of just the shock. There was no way of knowing they were coming, and then next thing you know, there's a bit of a killing machine going past you. But in both cases they really weren't aware of my presence at all. They just carried on straight by, and as I said, I didn't try and touch their tails. Cool corner. Planting Aussie eucalypts. Go Australia. Just met another pilgrim walking the other way back to Santiago. He said he ran into a guy on the Camino who has the Guinness Book of World Records record for the most pilgrim miles, 105,000 kilometers. Just walked my first marathon, 42 kilometers, and yeah, still got a bit to go actually, but yeah, I'm feeling good. Pretty cool. I only took 8 hours and 20 minutes, so a little bit of work to do to get on world record pace. But no, I think the world record just went under 2 hours, although I'm not sure if that was included. But yeah, I should be able to improve without a backpack. But yeah, pretty cool. One thing I've noticed a lot of in Galicia is grain-fed cattle and barn cattle. They basically keep the cows in barns, feed them with hay and grain, which comes from the fields. Seems like a pretty miserable life for a cow. If I was a cow, I'd much rather be standing in here. Very nice. It's surprising too, because to do it you have to get all the hay from the fields, which is a lot of work. They bale the hay, as you can see behind me, take it to the cows, and they have to clean the barns, but the barns still smell horrible, and they normally have the barns near their houses. So you're living with this lovely smell all the time. Just doesn't seem like the best way of going to me somehow. Just walked past two albergues that were closed, which means I've got another 5 kilometres to go before I get to the next main town, which takes me up to about 50 kilometres, I think. So a pretty big day, but nice sunset views. So I made it. I did, I think, around 55 kilometres. Managed to get lost once more. I was walking, it was so dark that I actually, when I'd see, I was trying to save battery on my phone, when I'd see the signs, I'd put my finger to feel like which direction the arrow was, because it was pretty difficult to see. But yeah, it was really cool. Walked up this beautiful mountain right at the end, and there were amazing views of a lake, and the stars were coming out above, and pretty special. Bit of a crazy day, but I've done my first marathon distance, so pretty awesome too.